What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we finally have the set list for Romance Dawn, the first of the One Piece TCG sets. So we're going to be going, well, colour by colour really, and we're going to start off having a look at red. We're going to be going through all of the red cards in this video. There's a lot of them, so let's get rolling. I should mention as we get going here, these translations are on the official website, so no one to credit here. I did do a few of them myself, but let's just use the website. So we've got Roronoa Zoro here, who is a leader, 5,000 power, 5 life. And there's an effect, Don X1, attach 1 Don. On your turn, all of your characters gain 1,000 power. This is really rather nice, just purely in terms of going, you know what? It's quite early in the game, or mid or late I suppose, but I'm seeing this as early in the game. Let's just boost all my little characters and roll. We also have a dual colour Trafalgar Law here. Dual colour red and green. 5,000 power, 4 life. Remember the dual colour leaders tend to have 4 life. And what we've got here is activate main once per turn. And it is a 2 cost. That is to say you need to rest 2 Dawn in order to use it. If you've got 5 characters, which is a max you can have, remember, return 1 to your hand, and then play a character with a cost of 5 or less from your hand that is a different colour. Remember the rules say you can only use colours of your leader, which here is red and green, so you're swapping a red for a green or a green for a red. But you can play an up to 5 cost and you're only paying 2, which means if you want to be flicking around with different characters, using on-play skills, etc., this one looks good. Monkey.D.Luffy is your other dual colour leader, that is red and green. Again, we've got 5,000 power, 4 life. And activate main once per turn as a 4 cost. Set one of your Supernovas or Straw Hat Crew type character cards with a cost of 5 or less to active. And it gains 1,000 power this turn. So you're getting an extra use with one of your characters. That could be a nice little swarming thing to do. Now, Usopp is the first character we've got here. 2 cost, 3,000 power with counter plus 2,000. And it's got Dawn X1 on your turn, once per turn. Draw a card when your opponent activates an event. So if they activate an event on your turn, you get to draw a card. Sounds alright to me. Yuta comes in here, 4 cost, 4,000 power. And on play, you add a red character card other than Uta with a cost of 3 or less from your trash to your hand. It's a way to recover your smaller characters back to replay them, small blockers, what have you. It's pretty gosh darn nice. Now, Otama here, we've got 1 cost, 0 power, which seems pretty bad. In reality, it doesn't really have a power, so yeah, you don't try surviving a hit here, you're not going to. But you can counter 2,000, which is good. And on play, you give one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power this turn. So essentially, you're playing it to try and delete a character, find a 1,000 power blocker as an argument, and then just get rid of them. That seems like fun. Now, Caribou here, you've got 3 cost 4,000 power, counter plus 1,000. And when KO'd, you KO one of your opponent's characters with 4,000 power or less. I really like this, because 4,000 is 1,000 less than the leaders tend to have, which is of course what you need to go through to start taking out life. So essentially what you do is just try and attack the leader, and either you win and take out a life, or you lose and KO one of your characters as a nice little bonus. Cavendish comes in as a 4 cost 5,000 power character, and when you play, you can add a card from your life area to your hand to give yourself rush. Now, that's kind of terrifying, of course, because when you run out of life and your opponent gets an attack past your leader, you lose. But, you know what? Sometimes it's going to totally be worth it, so I'm down with it. Carrot is a 2 cost 3,000 power, 1,000 counter, and as a trigger, you play the card. Trigger is when the card comes out as your life, so your opponent knocks one of your life out, it goes to your hand, boom, play yourself a carrot. You know what? Yeah. That sounds good to me, and that's the reason to play it. You're not talking about a good card. Vanilla card, you'd expect 2,000 more than the cost, i.e. cost 2, 4,000 power, but the fact you can play it as a trigger is good. Now, Kamachio here, 1 cost, 3,000 power, plus 1,000 counter. It's a vanilla character, I have nothing more to say. Gordon is a 2-cost 3,000 power with 2,000 counter, and when you play, you can place a card from the bottom of your from your hand to the bottom of your deck and draw a card. You're cycling cards. Simple as that. Get rid of a card you don't want and hopefully draw a card that you do. Now, Sai comes in as a vanilla character here, 2-cost 4,000 power, 1,000 counter. It's your standard vanilla character with power 2 more than the cost. Now, Sanji comes in, 2-cost 3,000 power, 2,000 counter, and activate main once per turn. You may add a card from your life to your hand, you gain 2,000 power, then give this character up to 2 rested Don cards. Firstly, giving rested Don is brilliant because generally speaking, the rested Don's not that useful, but now you can attach it. And also that means you're effectively going to give yourself like 7,000 power in total. So yeah, sure, you add a card from your life to your hand, and remember that card is now in your hand, you can use it for the rest of the turn, it will give you some advantages, but this is basically just a way to get a particularly powerful character. It looks like a 3,000, but it becomes a 7,000 super quickly. That's a good thing. Now Jinbe comes in, 4-cost 5,000 power, it's a blocker, so you can block attacks, and Don X1, when you block, you can play a red character with a cost of 2 or less from your hand. I really like this. Attaching 1 Don in order to play a character for free, and sure it's a 2-cost or less so they're weak, but still, I like this. Tony.Chopper is a 3-cost 4,000 power, 1,000 counter, and Don X1, when attacking, you may trash a card from your hand, and then add a Straw Hat Crew type character card other than Tony.Chopper with a cost of 4 or less from your trash to your hand. So basically, you trash a card you don't want to get back a character that you do. Yeah. It costs 1 Don and it's when attacking, so it's potentially every turn. I like it. Now, Nami comes in as a 1-cost 2,000 power, 1,000 counter. When you play, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal a Straw Hat Crawl type character, crew, other than Nami, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. You play and you search out. These kind of cards in Digimon have been very, very good and seen a lot of play. They could well do so in One Piece as well. You look at the top 5 cards and grab something cards. They've been good. Now Nico Robin comes in as a 3-cost 4,000 power, 1,000 counter. And Don X1, when attacking, KO one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. This looks like one of the best cards in red to me in the whole set. This one looks amazing. Play a Don to KO a character with 3,000 power or less, like a weak blocker that was going to be ruining your day. Yeah, attaching 1 Don in order to KO a weak character is absolutely brilliant. Against the inevitable low-cost swarming decks that always come around in every game, this is going to be really good. Yeah, this one looks kind of fantastic. Now, Hajrudin here, we got just a vanilla character, 4-cost, 6,000 power, 1,000 counter. I'm not going to say anything about the vanilla characters, there's nothing left to say. Bartolomeo here, what we see is a blocker, and that's fine. 2-cost, 2,000 power, 1,000 counter. And Don X2, on your opponent's turn, you get 3,000 power to make yourself a better blocker. Sounds good to me. Hyogoro here, 2-cost 3,000 power, 1,000 counter, and it's got an activate main that lets you rest the character to give your leader or one of your characters an extra 2,000 power. Basically saying, look, I can't attack usefully with this character this turn, so why don't I just rest it to help one of my other characters? And you know what? Yeah, that sounds like a good deal. Franky comes in as a 3-cost 4,000 power character, Don X1. This character can also attack your opponent's active characters. This is what TCGs do. They introduce basic rules and then they let you break them. So the general rule is you can only attack suspended characters or rested characters, but Franky can come in and take out active characters, which is really big because there's plenty of characters we see with good skills that just going to sit there and use the skills and not be rested. Well, great news, ladies and gentlemen. Franky will get them. Now, Brook comes in as a 4-cost 5,000 power, 1,000 counter. Don X1, when attacking, give up to 2 of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power this turn. And this isn't the cheapest card ever, but attach one Don to reduce by 2,000 power, and that can be big, because it doesn't necessarily need to be deleting his Digimon. It doesn't necessarily need to be KOing them, but what it could be is bringing them down low enough that you can KO them with your character and, nice and easily. Or it could be bringing down a blocker so low that your opponent cannot counter and block. Things of that nature. There's many different ways you want to be reducing power, and this is very nice. Marco's vanilla, free cost, 5,000 power, 1,000 counter. We've got Monkey.D.Luffy here, 2 cost, 3,000 power, 1,000 counter. Don X2, this character cannot be KO'd in battle by strike attribute characters. There is an attribute in the top right corner of all of the characters, like this Monkey.D.Luffy is strike. It doesn't often mean much, but it can do for things like this. And this is quite nice, because if you can see your opponent's got strike characters, hey, Don X2 and you're good. And then activate main once per turn, give this character up to 2 rested Don cards. And then you've attached 2 Don cards, which I'm pretty sure means you can just use that skill. And attaching rested Don cards is great, because of course you can use the Don to play a card, and then attach them anyway, whereas usually you're choosing whether you use them to pay for a card or attach them. I like this. Roronoa Zoro is one of your super rares here. Free cost, 5,000 power, and it's got Rush. Simple as. And you know what? Yeah, it's a free cost character with Rush. No downside, no payment, literally just a free cost with Rush. That's a bit stupid. You can play that as early as turn 2 with no extra stuff putting Don in. It is really good. We then move on to the event cards, which we'll be finishing off here. We've got Gum Gum Fire Fist Pistol Red Hawk, which is honestly a little bit of a mouthful. It's a 2-cost card, and it's a counter that gives your leader or one of your characters an extra 4,000 power, and then lets you KO one of your opponent's characters with 4,000 power or less. Yeah, that's kind of nuts. Given that much extra power and KOing a character is great. As a trigger, it gives your opponent's leader or one of their characters minus 1,000 power. Nowhere near as good as a trigger, but still, it's quite nice. Round Table comes in as a 4-cost event card, and it gives one of your opponent's characters minus 1,000 power. I'll be honest with you, the minus 1,000 on a 4-cost does seem to be a little bit weak. We've got Green Star Rafflesia, I want to say. 1-cost card, give your opponent's leader or one of their characters minus 2,000 power during this turn as a counter, and then it's got a trigger that just, triggers a counter effect. And then we've got Radical Beam, a 1-cost card. It's got a trigger that one of your leaders or characters gains 1,000 power, but the main thing is a counter that gives your leader or one of your characters 2,000 power extra. And then if you have 2 or fewer life cards, you actually go up by another 2,000 again, which is a bit silly high. And then we've got In 2 Years at the Sabaudi Archipelago. Sorry for that one. 1 cost, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal a Straw Hat Crew type character card and add it to your hand, and then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. And that happens the same as a main. It's good for getting your cards, and this is nice. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all the red cards from Romance Dawn, and if you like these kind of videos, I will bring you one for the other colours as well, because that seems like a fun thing to do. But for now, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know your favourite cards. I want to know if you're going to be playing red, or whether the other colours appeal to you more. So go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Digimon and One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.